Hello beauties, welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, my channel is about me being a mom of four and the day in the life of a single mom of four. Well, today I just wanted to switch up my content a little bit and show you guys, well, not show you guys, tell you guys a little bit about my faith journey. First, I just wanted to say, if you're a mom, don't be so hard on yourself. We're all just trying to make it through. We're all just trying to learn every single day. So give yourself credit where credit is due. Before I really get deep into, talking about my faith and everything, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about my background. So I was taken from my mother around the age of 4, and I went to foster care. And from foster care is another story. Like, if y'all want to know about my foster care, what happened while I was in foster care, then that's for another video, another time. But so I was in foster care until my aunt had took us in, me and my sister, and I was around 8, and yeah, so foster care, I moved in with my auntie, lived with her. So fast forward to my teen years, I became a teen mother at 17, my first child, and it was rough, you know what I mean? Like, I was still living with my aunt and stuff, so like, I didn't have to worry about rent or any of that stuff. I still didn't know about life. But I got kicked out of the house around 18, and my son was 1. So, and I ended up moving in with my sister. And from there, world just spiraled. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was drinking and partying and leaving my son with my family members to go party and all that good stuff. Not good stuff, but you know what I mean. So, I wasn't trying to get my life together at all. I had no trust in God. I actually told people I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in religion. I didn't believe in any of that, right? So I lived my life like that for a while, of partying, and, life was just crazy. And I did end up homeless. That's for another video too, right? So I ended up homeless for a while. And if you guys want to know about that, let me know. But so I was homeless in Connecticut, but I came back to Massachusetts where I was born, and moved with my sister after, like, trying to figure out what I was doing with life. It wasn't working out where I was, so I moved back to Massachusetts with my sister. And I was just battling with alcohol every day, and I was popping perks and partying every single night, and it was just getting too wild. I could say around that time, and I was about 20. But this is time period I'm talking about right now is between the age of 20 to like 20, let's say 22. Yeah, around that time where life was just, wild for me. And so at that point in my life, I was in the darkest stage of my life that I had ever been in, where I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know, how to get out of the situation I was in. I was struggling hard. I didn't know how to, I was raising my son, but I didn't know how to be a good mom. I didn't know anything at that time period. So let's talk about finding faith. How I found my faith. How I found my faith was me in my sister's bathroom with a bottle of Parmesan in my hand and a razor in the other hand. Right? So I was ready to go, right? I was ready to end my life. I'm like, I'm no good to my son. I'm no good to myself. I'm no good to anybody. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Right? So I took a razor and I started to cut myself. but something like stopped me, you know. Something stopped me, and I know it was God telling me to keep going, because I fell to the floor and I cried, and then I started praying. I just started praying off rip, and I'm like, God, like, give me a sign that I'm gonna make it through this life. Like, give me a sign that everything's gonna work out for me. Give me a sign. And so after that, the next day, because I had been applying for jobs, so I was looking for a job. The next day, I got a call for a job interview, and it was so crazy. I'm like, whoa! I'm like, is this my sign? Is this God giving me a sign? So I went to the job interview a couple days later. Mind you, I had to take the bus to the job, whatever. So I got on the bus. I had got on the wrong bus. Well, got off at the wrong stop, and so I had to walk about 45 minutes from where I was to get to the job. And as soon as I got off the bus, it started raining. It started pouring down rain. I had makeup on, my hair was done, and the rain would just mess everything up. So the whole 45 minutes, I cried and talked to God. And I'm like, why is this happening to me? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, and I was just crying and crying and crying. And when I finally, when I finally got to the job, the sun came out. As soon as I hit the doorstep, the sun came out. And I looked up, and that's how I knew God was real. And I'm like God is literally just talking to me, like through different, the interview, the rain, the sun coming out. And I'm like, something in me told me I was gonna get the job. And I walked in there, talked to the lady, she hired me on the spot. So that's how my faith really started, right? Because all it takes is the faith of a mustard seed. And when they say to have faith the size of a mustard seed is super, super small, right? But that thing grows like 2 feet tall. So as long as you have little faith, your faith will grow. And from where I was then to where I am now, my faith has grown so strong. Okay, let me just read y'all this scripture real fast. Because you have such little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Matthew 10:20. It's all about that faith of a mustard seed that faith will grow. So from that moment, from me getting that job, life started to change for me. But then came a point where I kind of, lost a little faith, and then I went back to my old ways. I went back to my partying. I went back to drinking. I went back to, after that night, I never took a pill since that day. Since that night, I haven't took no type of pill since that night. But I did go back to my old ways, and it's just a long journey. I ended up I had my son at 17, and then 6 years later at 22, I had my daughter. And my faith was still little. It didn't get to where it needed to be. But I wasn't looking to God like I needed to look to Him. There was times when I asked God for help, and I seen that He was there, and I seen He was helping me, and He stick by my side for the longest. But I still didn't run to God like I should have been running to Him this whole time, because He's the only one that could have took me out of any situation I was going through. So let's talk about some challenges that I faced. So now, after my daughter, when I was 22, about a year and a half after I had her, I met somebody. which is the father of my two younger babies. So, I met him. Mind you, when I met him, I was doing good, right? I had prayed to God to get me an apartment, and He did that for me. He got me an apartment. I have an apartment for my babies. I finally bought my first car. I had my license. My bills was paid. I had a good job. You know, everything was going good for me, right? Felt like it was going good. I was working out. I was looking good. I was feeling my best. But then I met him. Mind you, I had known him from middle school. We used to mess around and stuff, but we'll talk and stuff like that. But I met him again as adults, and you know, we just started dealing with each other. At the time that I met him, you know, I started partying with him, you know, going out, we're together all the time, but we did a lot of arguing. I was real toxic in that relationship. I always said I wouldn't be like the toxic girlfriend, but that's what I became dealing with that person. A lot of things happened. I don't want to get too deep into the relationship, but it was a relationship that I thought would last forever, but forever don't last too long. So, it was during this relationship that my faith in God started to really grow, because there was a point I had got pregnant, which we had planned it because, you know, like I said, we thought we were going to be together forever. And, you know, we all make mistakes, and I got pregnant. Well, my son's not a mistake. I love my kid. I got pregnant, and, you know, a couple months after that, he ended up going to jail. And that's when I prayed harder than I've ever prayed. And I begged God to please bring him home. Please bring him home. I can't do this alone. And, you know, I'm like, I can't. You know, he's helping me pay stuff. He's, you know, he's there to help babysit the kids when I need him. He's there mentally, well, not too much mentally, but he's there physically, and you know what I mean. So, I kind of felt like I couldn't live life without him, and him going to jail was like really like, it was a mental thing that bothered me a lot. So I prayed super hard. But what I did notice later on, is him getting locked up. I'm not saying that's why he got locked up, but God had to show me that, because I was dependent on this man too much, right? So I felt like God had to show me that he's my provider, that I needed nobody else but him. And I wish I would have seen that at that time, that's what God was showing me. But I didn't realize it. But it did. But that situation, like him going to jail, and then I prayed so hard because he thought he was going to have to do some hard time. And he had called me one day, and he's like, baby, you're never going to believe this. It's a miracle. I'm coming home. And I'm like, what? And I was like, and I just hung up. When we hung up the phone, I just started praying, like, thank you, God. You answer my prayers. But after he came home, it was never the same, right? It was just too much chaos. And if the relationship has too much chaos in it, that relationship didn't come from God, right? No matter how much you want to believe it, no matter how much you want to make yourself feel like that relationship came from God, it didn't. It just didn't, okay? So sometimes you just gotta let it go. And I was holding on to it too long, right? So I was holding on to that relationship, trying my hardest to, you know, make it work. And it just wasn't working. So, 2 years into a relationship, and I know it's like fast, moving fast. You know, I should have put God in that relationship first before I even got into the relationship and had 2 kids, but I didn't. Okay, I was young. I'm still young. I'm still learning. Just like everybody else is. Just like you're still learning. We got a lot of learning to do. Right? And so, I had decided, it's done. You know what, this is not for me, right? So I ended that relationship and then find out I'm pregnant again. Find out I'm pregnant again with baby number 4. And I'm just oh my gosh. I didn't I don't believe in abortion, so for myself, not for other people. I don't care what other people do. But for myself, if I get pregnant, I'm keeping my kids. That's why I got 4 kids. So, but I just knew that I really didn't want to have another kid by him, and it just didn't feel right. But that's when I talked to God, and I said, God, how am I gonna do this? Right? I'm single again, single mom, and my 2 youngest, my now 2-year-old and 4-year-old, they don't listen to me at all, right? And I'm struggling, and I'm pregnant, and I'm alone, and I'm just like, God, how am I gonna do this, right? How am I gonna raise another baby? And I thought about it. Excuse the tears in advance. And I talked to God, and God said, when you became a teen mom and you didn't know how you was gonna do it then, didn't I provide for you? When you became a mama too, with no shelter, with no home, and you didn't know how you was gonna do it, didn't I provide for you? And then he said, when you had your 3rd child and your boyfriend at the time got arrested and you thought you needed him, didn't I provide for you? So he said, why wouldn't I provide for you now? Why wouldn't I provide for you now? And it hit me, and I'm like, dang, I've been, putting my faith in other people and caring about and thinking that other people are the ones that's going to provide for me. But this whole time, the only person that's been providing for me is God. So now that little mustard seed of faith that I had, that thing grew. And now I'm a mama 4, and my faith is so strong, the enemy can't even touch me. It don't matter what the circumstances, the enemy cannot touch me. I got that little cry out. We good, we strong over here. I want to share some scriptures that help me get through. The first one is, God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Psalm 46:1, because God is within her. Did y'all hear that? God is within her. He is within us. With him, we cannot fall. We won't fall. We might trip a little, but we won't fall. He's right there. So the second one, I love this one, is, but seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. Seek the kingdom. Seek the kingdom. When I feel like I'm falling into the world, seek the kingdom. When I feel like everything is stressing me out, seek the kingdom. Get into the word. Right? Because nothing can break you. Nothing. No matter what you're going through, nothing can break you. So seek the word. And the last one is, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope in the future. Jeremiah 29:11. So these scriptures right here help me get through. He already knows the plans he has for us. It's already written. Our life is already written. He already knows everything's working for our good. So I look to God for guidance. I don't look for the world anymore. I don't look to people anymore. I used to, depend on people, depend on friends, and depend on everybody else. But it took me, I'm 27 now. So it took me 27 years to realize the only person I ever needed was God. Prayer has helped me get through a lot of things. No matter what the situation is, I can pray about it, and it can puts me at ease. And you know what helps me every day before I get up, before I put anything on my feet, before I even get out of this bed? What helps me is thanking God for everything that I am grateful for. Everything that He has given me, I thank Him for. So that helps me start my day off with gratitude. It helps me to get up and, not be stressed out, because I'm like, man, I'm thankful for this day. I'm just thankful for this day. Right? So just starting your day with gratitude is the best way to start your day. Gratitude, listen to gospel music, prayer. Let's talk about support. Because, I'm a single mom. My kids' fathers, they help, but it's not like, they're not here with the kids 24/7. So when I say support, I'm talking about people that can, come help you with housework. People come help you cook. People come help you sit with the kids for a second while you take a shower. We need that support. God did not intend for us to do this on our own. So don't think that, I know you feel like a superhero. I know you feel like you could be 10 places at once. Because I feel that way sometimes. I have to tell my kids, I'm not a superhero. I can't be here, 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 here at one time. Right? And, I take care of my mom. My mom lives with me. So she's a really, really big, my support. So if I need to take a shower or something, I bring her the baby. If I need to go to the store, I can bring her the baby. If I need to do some housework, bring her the baby. Also, I have my sisters, because it takes a village, right? So my sister will take my kids for me and help me with my kids, basically. So you need some type of support, especially if somebody's offering you some type. I know it's hard to trust people with your kids, because that's how I am. My mom, my sister's the only one that, and their fathers are really the only ones that take the kids. So and that's one thing about my son's father. He takes him every weekend, and that gives me a break because he's 2. So he's in his terrible 2s, and he always wants to get picked up. So I can never get nothing done. So when he takes him, I get a lot done. And just don't try to do everything on your own. You need somebody. No matter how strong you feel, no matter how strong you are, because I know you're strong, take that help. Take that support. It takes a village. We need to trust God's plan. You need to give Him that control of your life. Because once I just let everything go and realize that this is not my life, this is God's will for my life, let His will be done. Because once I just realized that this is not my life, then it's a lot of weight came off my shoulders. A lot of worry, a lot of stress, thinking, I'm thinking I have to be a superhero, when God was just telling me, calling me. He chose us, right? He chose us to, He chose us. So we just got to give Him our life and let His will be done. So let's talk about growth. Let's talk about how my faith has contributed to my growth so much, because like I said, I was like an alcoholic, drinking every single day. Even after my second child, I was still drinking every single day. But it took God. It took my faith in God to help me get out of that. I haven't had a drink in, it was 2 years now. I wasn't I wasn't drinking harsh liquors. I would drink wine in my house or something. like 2 years since I had a drink. I'm way more patient now, you know, because it's the fruit of the spirit. Okay, let me tell you, because I was just studying the fruit of the Holy Spirit, and the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That self-control run, that self-control hit me. I'm like, I needed that self-control, but when you walk how God wants you to walk, you know, you can start seeing growth within yourself. I see so much growth. I used to be out here fighting people and cussing people out, and I wouldn't do that today. I wouldn't do that today because I know that God sees me in a much better light than what He used to see me. Right? So my faith has helped me to grow into the person that I was supposed to be. And I'm still growing, and I continue to grow my faith every single day. And I'm reading the Word and trusting in God. And so if you guys watched this far, I just wanted to thank you guys for even listening to, you know, a little bit about my life, because who am I? But yeah, I'm that. But I'm so cringy sometimes. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and listening and hearing what I had to say, and I hope this encourages another mom, or encourages anybody that you can make it out of any circumstance that you have to go through to get through it. We all got to go through it, and it's how you get through it. That's all that matters. So if you guys want to continue to watch my stories and continue to watch me grow and just stay with me on this journey, subscribe to my channel, and that's it. Love you guys. Bye.